Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Abby, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I absolutely love all things makeup, inspiration and family. If you've been here before, thank you so much for your love and support. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and also share it with other beautiful people. So for today's video, I want to show you guys how I create my flawless base slash foundation makeup. And basically this was inspired by an aunt of mine that when she watched my first ever video, if you haven't watched that video, I will leave it in the description box below. And basically she was like, I've got no idea what concealer is. And many times we take it for granted, thinking that because there is so much information out there that people are supposed to know what things are, when it's actually not like that. So thank you, Auntie, for inspiring me to do this makeup. It could be a bit lengthy, but like I said, it is going to be an in-depth tutorial on how I achieve my flawless base. Okay, so I just want you guys to remember two main things in this video. And the first thing is you need to know your skin type. So for me personally, I have very oily skin. I personally don't like hot weather because I literally drip like a tap, so I'm very oily. So like I said, firstly you need to know your skin type. Do you have dry skin? Do you have oily skin? Or do you have a combination of both? And I want you to remember this because as we go on in this tutorial, you will see that it will become very helpful. The second thing is I want you to know your skin tone and your undertones. Now, you need to know this because it becomes very helpful when you have to select your foundation shades or your concealer shades, your bronzer. So I'll just say that again. Number one, know your skin type. Number two, know your skin tones and your undertones. And I guarantee you when you are shopping for makeup, this will make your life so much easier. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my primer. Where's my primer? There you go. And the purpose of a primer is number one, to smooth your skin. Number two, to control shine. Number three, to minimize pores. And also, like I said in one of my previous videos, it's to create a protective layer between your skin and your makeup so that your skin is always protected. We always make sure that in order to achieve close to perfect makeup, we need to have good looking skin. So my first step is always to prime. Also bear in mind there are various types of primers, okay? And that takes me back to the first important thing that I asked you to remember. Know your skin type. So if you have oily skin, you would want to get a primer that is fitting for oily skin. If you have dry skin, you would want to do the same. So just bear that in mind. I'm just going to prime my skin using my baby skin instant pore eraser, and I'm not going to focus a lot on the products that I use today because basically I just want to focus on the purpose of each product as well as the application. So you just want to apply your primer, and I apply mine all over my face because like I said, I really do have oily skin, and that is nice and primed. Okay, step number two, we're going to move on to foundation. What is the purpose of foundation? Number one, it's to create an even and uniform complexion. And also, it is basically to cover imperfections. So, I have beauty marks, I've got acne scars, which I personally do not mind. I'm imperfectly perfect and I love my skin. So also when it comes to foundation, you need to know what type of coverage you want. Okay, so do you want a light to medium coverage? And if you want that type of coverage, basically you would gravitate more towards your BB creams or your mousses, whereas if you want medium to full coverage, you would gravitate towards your liquid and your stick foundations. That's definitely going to give you more coverage as well as buildability, if that's a word. The ability to be able to build the foundation. Okay. I'm going to go in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup, and I love this foundation because it's buildable, and as a really oily skin girl, this makeup or this foundation specifically lasts very long for me. And I personally prefer medium to full coverage, because if you don't want your makeup or your foundation to be too full coverage, I mean, you just take a little bit of this and you just apply one thin layer. And in that way as well, you basically saving, because I mean, if you're going to use a lot or a little of this foundation, I mean, it goes a long way. So to apply that, I'm just going to take my foundation brush, and I'm going to apply that onto my face. And just another tip is, like I said, you want to make sure that with your foundation, you get a foundation that matches close to your neck. So you want to make sure that these look the same. I mean, you don't want to walk around with a yellow face and a brown neck. You know, that defeats the purpose of having on foundation. And if you don't understand the purpose of something, abuse is inevitable, right? So I'm just going to take that on my foundation brush. As you can see, that is a beautiful match, and I'm just going to apply my foundation. My brows are already done because I really just wanted to focus on the skin for today. And please bear in mind that all my videos that I am shooting, I shoot in natural lighting. So this is my skin, imperfections, flaws, but it is what it is. So you just want to evenly apply your foundation all over your face. Like that. And as you can see, this foundation did an amazing job. I really want light coverage today, so I personally think that that one layer is more than enough for me. I do apologize for the noise in the background. I'm filming at a place where the main road is right opposite me, so there's cars going up and down and hooting and trucks. But you know what? That's reality, and that's what happens. Okay, so step number 3. I've primed, I've put on my foundation, a foundation that does match my neck, and I've blended it beautifully. Now you can use a foundation brush like I did, you can use a beauty blender, you can use your fingers, but I would recommend that you just make sure that your hands are nicely washed before applying it onto your face, and there shouldn't be a problem. Next, I'm going to go in with my concealer. And the purpose of a concealer is to mask dark circles, large pores, and also cover up small blemishes that you may not want on your face. Another purpose another purpose for the concealer is to highlight your face. And you know that when you highlight, you basically bring out certain features. Yeah, basically you bring out certain features. And for highlighter, I would highly recommend that you get a color that is 2 or 3 shades lighter than your actual foundation. Obviously, by doing that, you're going to create a brightness onto your face, and that is going to look immaculate. Now, as you can see, I've got Gucci bags, I've got dark circles, and if I just apply my concealer onto that, obviously depending on the coverage of the concealer, you might still see my dark bags peeking through. But obviously if I wanted to get rid of that completely, I would have to color correct. But that is for a completely different video. Today I'm just focusing on the skin. And yeah, I'm gonna go in with my LA Girl concealer. And what you guys know, I absolutely love this concealer. And where we're going to highlight is under our eyes. I'm going to create basically an upside down triangle underneath my eye, like that. And I'm going to do the same under this eye. Like that. You want to highlight your chin, the bridge of your nose, and by doing this you're also creating a slimmer nose basically, and my forehead. So these are generally the places on my face that I would highlight. And I prefer to let this concealer sit in a little bit because I find that when it's a bit drier, it moves around less and it allows more coverage. So I'm just going to let that sit for a while. Alrighty. Okay, to blend that concealer, I'm going to use, this is a foundation brush by Switch Beauty, but I love it because the bristles are not too dense, so it allows me to really pack on that concealer where I like it. Or else, let me use my beauty blender. I'm just going to use my beauty blender, my damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to blend that in. See how beautiful that is? So you can still see, oh, that's stunning. So as you can see, that is the concealer and this is the foundation. It's just a shade or two lighter than my foundation, which gives me the brightness that I really want. And I love this concealer. Just blend, blend, blend. And I'm really happy with how this is looking. Now for someone with very oily skin, setting my concealer and my foundation is a must. So my next step is going to be setting powder. And the purpose of your setting powder is to hold your foundation or your concealer in place, which prevents creasing, especially on your smile lines, right there, and under your eyes. So before applying my setting powder, I am going to just set that concealer. And today I'm going to use a loose setting powder, but remember you also get different types of setting powders. If you're doing your makeup at home, I would recommend a loose setting powder because you can also bake. If you're out and about and you need something in your handbag, I would highly recommend a compact powder because it's just easy to travel, but it does serve its purpose. So I'm just taking some of that setting powder on my beauty blender and I am setting that concealer. So everywhere we concealed, we just want to make sure that we are setting as well. And I would generally set my whole face because, like I said, I do have really, really oily skin. Set, set, set. And that is looking stunning. I also like to set around my nose because unfortunately I do have sinuses, so the makeup on my nose doesn't really last that long. So I just set it as much as I can, and you can see that my skin is looking nice and flawless. You can see my marks peeking through, and that's because I didn't really layer my foundation. I just put one layer and I blended that out, and there we go. That's it for setting powder. Step number 4, no, step number 5. I'm sorry. Next we're gonna go in with contouring slash bronzing. Now there is a difference between contouring and bronzing. Contouring, basically when you contour, you shape and define the structure of your face. So for example, me being a little bit more chubby now than what I was before, if I want to create my face to look a bit more defined or a bit more, what's the word, skinnier, I can contour my face by creating shadows and not restructuring but defining my face more. Whereas bronzing is just basically warming up the skin to basically give you like a tanned or sunscreen look. Now you also get different types of contours. You get your cream contour and you get your powder contour. Now specifically for someone that has oily skin, I would recommend that you preferably use powder products, a powder bronzer, or if you are going to cream contour, then definitely set it in with a bronzer. But for today, I'm only going to go in with a bronzer. And to do that, I'm going to use my Hoola from Benefit. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into the products that I use. I really just want to show you guys the techniques and basically explain the purpose of each product. Okay. So yeah, like I said, with contouring and bronzing, basically you're creating dimension on your face by creating shadows. Okay, so you want to make sure that you bronze on the hollow of your cheek, and to do that you basically make a fish mouth like this, and you want to get your contour or your bronzer right there. And I really do very little of this. You want to get your double chin away, so you just bronze over there. Now you can see there's a shadow created there, and there's nothing on this side. And you want to, if you've got a bigger forehead and you want to make it appear smaller, bronzing or contouring helps with that as well. So you just want to blend out that product, and with this I'm blending upwards like that. I don't really have the biggest forehead in my opinion, so I usually can skip this step as well, but for the purpose of today's video I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And like I said, this just brings back some color. It defines your face and just gives you that sun-kissed look. And I'm going to use the same brush just to create a bit of a contour on my nose. And I'm going to create the shadows right there. Like that. You see, my nose looks a bit pinched already. You want to start from your brow, bringing it all the way down. And remember, the closer you draw your two lines, the more snatched and pinched your nose is going to appear. But you just want to make sure that this is beautifully blended. We do not want any harsh lines. You need to blend, and I'm quite happy with how that is looking. Yay. Alrighty, sorry for the lighting. Like I said, I am filming in natural light, and right now the light is it's fluctuating. Okay, moving on to step number 6. Next we're going to go on to blush, which quite frankly is my favorite thing, because the purpose of blush is just to add a flush of color back to your face. And as you can see, with the concealer and the foundation and just the bronzer, your face can look a bit flat. So we're just going to add some blush to bring back some color. And I'm going to use my classic blush palette by BH Cosmetics. With blush, you also want to remember to get a color that is fitting for your skin tone. That is why I said in the beginning, we need to remember those two things, your skin type and your skin tones, because all the makeup that we choose and apply on our faces resorts back to those two things. Okay, so I'm just going to apply my blush. And with your blush, you just want to apply it onto, in fact, I think I just want to bake a little bit because it is quite hot and I can see that I'm getting oily already. Like that. Next, I'm going to apply my blush, and you want to apply that to the apples of your cheeks. So just smile, apply it right there, and I usually like to drag it towards the back of my temple as well. Now, I know many people say that you can never have too much blush. I really beg to differ. I don't want too much blush on my face. I just want to look flushed and natural, well, kind of natural, because obviously when you put on makeup, you can see that you put on makeup. I mean, we don't walk around with filters on our faces. Makeup is makeup, so if you're applying it, people are going to see, you know. But I like to keep it to the minimum. I like to apply just as much as I need, you know, and just leave it there. So as you can see, I'm looking nice and flushed. I've got a beautiful color on my face, and that's all we need. Just make sure that your blush is nicely blended as well. There we go. And I just use the blush brush for that. Next, my final step basically for my base makeup is to apply some highlighter. And the purpose of highlighter, it basically attracts natural light, giving you that lit from within look. And who doesn't want to look lit from within? So I would suggest that when selecting your highlight as well, like with any other product that I just mentioned, you want to make sure that you select the correct shades. So for me specifically, I'm basically medium toned, and I noticed that for my skin tone, your bronzy highlighters or your golden highlighters really sits perfectly for my skin tone. But please do your research and make sure that you're always selecting the correct shades. And I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics 6 color palette, and I'm going to take this golden shade right here. I don't know, yeah, and that is called Dream. You guys should know it by now. And you want to apply your highlighter on the high point of your cheek. Look at that. Look at that glow. Look. On the high point of your cheek, and I'm using a fan brush, and I like to apply some on my temple, and the same on this side. Apply some on your cupid's bow. So when light hits this, you can see you've just got a beautiful radiant glow. And I'm just going to switch brushes. This is a pencil brush, and I'm just going to take that same highlighter, apply it onto the bridge of my nose. Just create an exclamation mark. like that. You know that I love to highlight my inner corner of my eye, my tear duct basically, and my brow bone. And that is exactly where I would highlight. I hope that this was helpful. This is definitely my simple and easy base tutorial. Nothing is perfect. Like I said, if you are wearing makeup, people are going to notice, but the best we can do is just make sure that we know our skin types and we know our skin tone, so that we can get a makeup that matches our skin tones. I'm gonna finish off my look and I'll be back with the finished product. Hi guys, and I'm back, and this is the final result. So I've just added on some lashes. As you can see, my base is looking beautiful and blended. I've got some color on my cheeks, my contours not looking too crazy. And yeah, this is personally my flawless foundation routine, and I hope you like it. My final step before I forget, and like I repeated many times, as an oily skin girl, I really have to take measures to really try to keep my foundation on, and one of those is my final step, which is my setting spray. Your setting spray is meant to lock in your foundation, prevent smudging, creasing, and it also allows your makeup to stay on longer. Or even if you will, sorry about that, there we go. Even if you want to, you can just refresh your makeup throughout the day. So my last suggestion is to apply some setting spray. And that is it. What's going on with my lash? Girl, what you doing? Okay, I'm gonna end of this video before my eyelash falls off. But thank you so much for watching. This is a long video, but I hope it was helpful and informative. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share this video with other beautiful people, and please stay beautiful, stay blessed, and take care. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.